Hello, everybody. It's Melanie Warner here. Thank you so much for joining us for Defining Moments TV. Today, we have a very special guest. I cannot wait for you to hear her story. Please welcome to the show, Kathryn McAdam.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to share your information with people because it's personally helped me so much. And we're going to talk about also a book that you have that has come out as well and your process for helping people heal their bodies. First of all, I would love if you would share a defining moment in your life with our audience.
Absolutely. So many years ago, I found myself homeless with my three kids. We were fleeing my drug addicted, abusive ex-husband. And we had been married for 10 years. He had struggled with addiction on and off and saw him get better, get worse, get better. And then it spiraled out of control to the point where he was very threatening and things weren't safe at home. And so my story began there, totally broken. I was 70 pounds overweight. I was just a wreck, mentally, emotionally, physically. And the hardest part about that was feeling like I couldn't hear from God, feeling like that there was that ceiling and wasn't able to trust that I could hear from him, he had anything good for me. And so I use my story as part of how I heal people today, how I help them on their journey. I know what it's like to hit rock bottom and need a lifeline. I really could have used somebody like me to come alongside me at that point and walk me through this. And that's what led me to develop what I have today is the empowered method and what I share with my clients to help them on their road to healing.
That's incredible. Like, oh my gosh, thinking about, I'm so sorry that you went through that with your kids. I went through a similar situation and, divorce, all that kind of stuff. And I know that's a very, there's a lot of uncertainty in that space, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have faith, then you certainly become somebody of faith because you're kind of left to your own devices in the world and you feel like, I don't have any warm bodies around me to even help me anymore. And so I understand how how scary that must have been for you and your kids. So talk to us about your journey. I mean, how did you get from being this woman who was 70 pounds overweight, literally homeless, like living with kids in her car to escape this abusive drug addict ex-husband, to this beautiful woman who's so full of life, is this amazing soul, has a healthy body and a whole new life. Like tell us what that journey was like and and how you might be able to help other people that are in a similar situation.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, um, when we go through stuff like that, it really weighs on us emotionally and mentally. The mind games of being married to someone that is an addict is crazy, and so I had to start to unpack the layer upon layer of hurt, of shame, of disappointment, and even disappointment in God, because at the time when I was married to my ex-husband, we were heavily involved in our church. I was leading worship. I was part of the women's ministry. God was moving through me. And I was asked to step down because everything was such a wreck at home. And I really felt like I had been put on the shelf. And so it was a process of beginning to trust the Lord again, that He had something good for me. I had to burrow into my mind that verse that says, God is faithful. In the Amplifies, it says he's trustworthy, reliable, and he can be depended on. And man, I had to dig myself into the word and hang on to it for dear life. Of course, I spent hours and actually years in the therapist chair unpacking, what happened to me, that I ended up in this situation and felt completely helpless, because that's what trauma is, right? It's that feeling of helplessness. And it's a lie of the enemy. You can get stuck in that trauma. And as I have healed through, applying, just health principles, beginning to take care of myself, because, as moms, especially when I was like taking care of three little kids on my own, and I was in nursing school at the time, I was stretched incredibly thin, commuting 2 hours just to get to class. And it was an incredibly stressful time, but I would spend time just in worship. It was like the one thing that I knew to do to help me to elevate my mood, to begin to heal my body and my mind and my spirit.
Mm.
And just it's layer upon layer. It's not just healing isn't just, oh, I just need to get into shape or I need to eat right. It starts from the inside out. And that's really what I help people with.
And it really is a mindset and an association with food, right? We all
Hmm.
have food associations and anxieties that we may not even realize are there, and we have to kind of get into that. Plus, everybody seems to have gut issues. I
Oh
think
my gosh.
dog and cat have gut issues, and
Yeah.
kids have gut issues. I had gut issues, and you really helped me because you did this extensive process of really finding the culprit per se, whereas doctors don't know about some of these tests and they're not always doing them.
Yeah.
Not only do they not know about nutrition, they don't even study it in med school, which people don't realize. And we're sitting here trying to take medical advice, and nothing to knock doctors, but they don't exactly have like the best reputation for being the healthiest people. And I
Hmm.
like listen to the people who have what you want. If you want a great marriage, listen to the people that have been married for 50 years. If you
Yeah.
want to be healthy, listen to the people that have a healthy body that are living and having this great quality of life. If you want to make money, listen to the people that have made millions of dollars. Like to me,
Mhm.
that just is common sense. And yet, as Abe Lincoln says, common sense ain't so common, right? So I love the fact that you have this incredible program that helps people, and not only just women, but like, your husband, your kids, like everybody in your family had this massive transformation. So tell us a little bit more about your system and how you can help other people.
Yeah, so my system is a six-part system. And, my of course, I've been trained in conventional medicine, and I have been in that world. I've been in the medical field for almost 20 years now, and I went back to school to get training to become a nurse practitioner, so I could do, the prescribing and the testing and really help people on their journey that way, thinking I was going to help people heal themselves. But what happened along the way was, here I am going to school full time, working in the ICU, still a single mom, doing all the things. And I started having gut issues. And what happened was like, I was so worried. I went to the emergency room and they did all these tests and they said, "Oh, you're fine. There's nothing wrong." And I was like, I know there's something wrong. You know,
And you're
try
in that, and you're in the medical
Yes.
community. So you
Yes. And in
know
my
this.
mind, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, what did they miss? What it could be this or it could be that. My mom had cancer that started in her stomach. I was like worried something like that was going on and they just missed it. And, so I went back to again, horrible pain in my stomach, debilitating fatigue, brain fog. Like I was having conversations. My kids were teenagers at the time. I was having whole conversations with my kids and I couldn't remember them. Talk about dangerous, right? Let alone working in a high pressure area where I'm taking care of medications and all this stuff. Anyway, so God was faithful and brought me through that. But one of the things that I came across, because I wasn't getting any answers from the conventional world, they sent me to the lady doctor. I had all these painful procedures and no answers, tons of medical bills, and just felt helpless and crazy. Like what's like this is all in my head. Like what's going on, right? And I came across this lady that was just talking about like making some diet and lifestyle changes, and I was like, it can't be that simple, but what have I got to lose, right? And so at that point, I had lost 50 pounds. I still was struggling with that last like 20, 15, 20 kind of up and down, up and down. And I was like, okay, well, what do I got to lose? And so I started doing what she instructed. And within a week, my symptoms were gone. The
Wow.
the gut ache, the brain fog. I was sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed, and I was like, "Holy cow, hallelujah!" Right? And on top of it, I lost 8 pounds in a week, which is unheard of, right?
Yeah.
And I was elated, but also really frustrated because the curriculum that I was learning to become a nurse practitioner, nutrition and what we went through wasn't even discussed. It wasn't even on the syllabus. And so I was like frustrated, but then also motivated. Like, okay, I want to help people heal. And if it is something as simple as is like, hey, this doesn't have to be like stuck on a pill for the rest of your life or taking these crazy injections that lead to this is crazy, like Ozempic and those things that people are getting these shots today. Did you
Yeah.
know that like the rate of people having their gallbladder removed has skyrocketed since people started getting these shots because it shuts down your gut and everything gets backed up. And guess what gets backed up too? Your gall and your liver. And so you get like
Right.
it leads to like more health issues. It doesn't help.
Right.
40
It doesn't actually solve the problem, but it's a surface
no.
level thing. And then the other thing you said that I thought was so fascinating is how there are certain hormones that we produce in the gut. I never knew that before, but you taught me that. Will you share that with our audience today?
Yeah, so up to 80 to 90% of our serotonin is actually produced in our gut. You know, if you go to the conventional doctor, they just give you these SSRIs, which makes your brain like hold back from reabsorbing the serotonin. But if you fix your gut, you'll be able to produce the serotonin. And serotonin is that
It
feel-good
makes
chemical.
it's yeah, serotonin is what we feel like when we eat chocolate or when we're in love. So think about this, you guys. If you have gut issues, your body physically is working against you to feel happy, to
Hmm.
feel that feeling of euphoria when you eat chocolate and you're in love. You can't physically feel that. This is where there's undiagnosed depression happening, and people are just giving pills and they're not even clinically depressed. It's because they have gut issues and the doctors aren't finding these things because they're not doing the right tests. So
Yeah.
if you have
And
this amazing system where you run these
mhm,
lab tests and you work with anybody pretty much anywhere, they can
yep.
do these lab tests at home, send them in, and then I was shocked at when I did it with you. I got like a I was you guys, it was like 100 pages. And
Yeah.
it was mind-blowing. The things I just had to cut out because I thought mine was all hormonal or menopause or it's just I'm getting older. And I was just learning to tolerate being overweight and having all these health things. I just thought, oh, well, I'm just getting older. And then I realized I don't have to live like that.
Mm-mm.
I have a busy, amazing life. And I'm like, I can't afford to be shut down. I'm CEO of my company. I'm traveling all over the world doing great things. Like I'm enjoying the prime of my life. I can't have health stuff holding me back. So
Mhm.
I did your program and read your book, and I've obviously helped you with your book. So I know what you've been through to birth this book baby and get this out to the world. So if you could share with us the name of your book, because you have a book that's out. It's a best-selling book. Congratulations. That's how many people are out there that need this. But please tell us the name of your book, who it's for, and how it can help people.
So this is my new book. It is Blessed Body. It is the High Performer's Guide to Faith, Food, and Functional Medicine, and really it is for anyone that is wanting to improve their health and grow in their spiritual walk. Because as a believer in Christ, I have used my knowledge. I've also been trained as a minister. Um, in the word and God's principles, and then now this functional medicine side, right? Functional medicine is just the a way of approaching health and healing as a provider that gets to the root cause. We're not just trying to cover the symptoms up or shut the body down and tell it to be quiet and behave, right? Is getting to the root cause so that we can actually correct those things. And doing things God's way is just, I mean, it's this is what the book is about. My method is called the Empowered Method, and it's all spelled out in the book. It's the exact way that I help to improve my health, to regain my mental clarity, boost my energy. And you know what? It's crazy. I didn't realize, and maybe you too, Melanie, as you're on this journey, like how tired I was. I had just been putting up with it. And I just had no idea how bad my fatigue was until I didn't have it anymore. I was like, holy cow, I've been just putting up with this,
Well, like
thinking
you
that
said,
this is
you can't
normal.
survive on coffee and caffeine alone because I was one of those people. I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I just feel like I get coffee and then I drink caffeine and it's like that keeps me going all day. And then I realize like that high energy is good for getting things done, but it's not healthy for your nervous system and your body. And it's like if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Everything we have, all that we've sacrificed to have the lifestyle, the life of our dreams, all these things that we want for our families and for ourselves, none of it matters if you don't have your health.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have taken care of CEOs in the hospital, like when I was working in the ICU. And I remember this one had this one man in particular. he was waiting test results, and he had been in the hospital several days. And his wife came to me and she's like, "Don't you know who he is? He's got thousands of people waiting for him to give them direction. He's got this big business, and he's basically paying these people to stand around. Like, he needs to get out of this hospital now." And I was like, "I'm sorry, I can't make these tests come back quicker. And, there's no shortcut, when you're in the hospital, when something gets to that point." And the sad thing is, like, even though you spend time in the hospital, you might not get better.
Hmm.
They don't know how to correct the things that are broken or misaligned in your system to actually give you your health back. They
They're not
basically,
actually doing foundational medicine
yeah.
or prevention. They're just putting a Band-Aid on it to get you out of there. And like
Hmm.
that's the scary part that we don't realize.
I
And you
know.
are somebody who's been through this journey in a very credible way. That's your story. And you also are in the medical field. So you understand the gaps in
Oh,
the
gosh.
alternative medicine and the wellness and the medical side. So I love how you bridged it all together. And then you put this beautiful spiritual side of bringing God into it. Like we pray for everybody else's health when somebody gets hurt or in their hospital. We'll pray for you, but we don't think about praying for our own health in
Hmm.
our own bodies to like lose the weight. Like for some reason, that never even occurred to me as a woman of faith. All these years I was praying for everybody else, but I didn't know how to integrate God into my meal plans and meal prep
Hmm.
and the things that I hate going to the grocery store. I hate cooking. Like, ugh. I mean, it's just like it just seems like such a boring task, like a chore. And it's like, ugh, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so you also have these amazing tools in your book that help you meal plan. You guys, what if you could just meal prep your entire week in 1 hour?
Hmm.
And I've learned to make salad dressings from scratch, and they're so good.
Yes,
And I
they
put them
are.
on everything, and it's just like all the things I was never taught about food growing up. Nothing against my mom, she's amazing, but my mom and grandma, they would cook 3 meals a day. They were stay-at-home moms. They had the time. That's all they had to focus on was, well, obviously they did a lot, but you
Hmm.
finish breakfast, now you get ready for lunch, and everything was made from scratch, and you didn't, your whole day was planning around food and cleaning and domestic duties. Whereas now we're balancing lives and families and businesses and teams of people and food and health and medicine and everything. And it's so stressful that our bodies are just screaming like,
Yeah.
please slow down and give me what I need. And so you make it super simple. You've got
Hmm.
all these great tools in the book that come with the book. When you buy the book, you get all these amazing tools that will help you be successful in this goal, whether it's weight loss or whether it's just like, learning to live with a healthy lifestyle. So it's not like you have that yo-yo diet where you lose it and then gain it back. Like you literally learn to just do things a little differently. It's the same ingredients when you go to a store. It's just how do you combine them to in a way that your body really wants them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And the testing really helps to figure out, okay, like, for instance, like I found I have a soy allergy, and soy is in like in everything. So I was responding to that, and it was keeping my body in this inflammatory mode, which is also like raises your cortisol, which also then leads your body to hang on to fat because it doesn't feel safe. I spell this out in my book in so many ways, but getting to that root cause and knowing what the cause, like what is happening, why is your body responding to this, instead of just shutting up those symptoms, instead of just telling the body that you're too stupid and we're going to make you be quiet so we can just keep on going, right? And,
mhm,
and all the while the inflammation in the disease process is smoldering underneath the surface. Just because we've quieted the body doesn't mean that it's actually healed. But yeah, so using food as medicine, using it as something to fuel your body. I'm really, I diets don't work, right? We've all been on a bunch of diets, and they don't work. In the end, this my method is not about deprivation, because it's psychology, right? You tell someone they can't have something, and that's the one thing that they want. And
right.
we have all been duped thinking, well, I can be on this diet for a little bit of time, I lose some weight, and then you're just like, you let your guard down, you get, you fall off the wagon or whatever, or the time of the diet is done, and you go back to eating your old ways, and you gain all the weight back and more, because you're like ravenous. Your body is wanting those things that you've been depriving it of. And what we really help people with, like you, Melanie, is getting to find out what your body actually needs. Um, because even like the best supplements out there, if you don't have the good gut microbes in there to break those supplements down and actually assimilate them, get them into your body, then you it doesn't matter. Like you won't be able to absorb them. They're not going to do you any good. You know, I put a post out the other day about the supplement graveyard, and we all fall into this trap, right? We buy all these supplements and we think, well, so and so that said that this would help or that would help, and they're taking this and so it must be for me, but until you get to the root cause and know exactly what's happening in your gut, you might just be throwing away your money. I think you had told me one time somebody said that Americans have the most expensive urine on the planet.
That was our host Sanjay Raja of our PBS TV show that's called Recipe for Wellness. So the whole show is about how food is medicine and educating people about food. And that was the first time we spoke. He said that to me, and that hooked me as a producer. I'm like, you need your own show. Like, that's funny. And that's so
Mhm,
true. And this guy knows so much about health and nutrition. And that's the thing, you don't have to have more degrees than a thermometer to be,
mhm,
on your wall to be able to help somebody live a healthy life and lose 20 pounds. So your book tells you step one, you want to lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 pounds. Step one, this is the most important thing you need to do. Step two, and you give people very specific steps plus the tools, and you
yeah.
have the right test to really determine how do you even know what to do if you don't know what the diagnosis is. And you're
Mhm,
the one that helped me finally, after years, determine that I had leaky gut and how to fix it. And I didn't even know anything about it. I had never heard any of that from my doctor. They weren't even running the right tests. And I
mhm,
kept ending up in the emergency room, miserable, in so much pain. For years, I was dealing with, digestive stuff. I never had any of that before. I always
mhm,
had an iron stomach and could eat whatever. And the other thing is, I think, inflammation is the precursor to cancer. So knowing what foods cause inflammation and just being more aware and more intentional in how you eat and preparing your foods a certain way where it's fun, it doesn't feel like a chore.
yeah.
All of that was just life changing, not just for me, but my family. And I know you have so many more stories, and we're running out of time today. But here's the thing, you guys. So many of these stories and steps and tools are in this book.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys being here. We respect your time as well. Just go get the book. All right. If you're watching this live, then you know that the book is launched today
Yep.
officially. Congratulations. Yay. And you might be seeing it for a discount, like 99 cents for the ebook or less than $10 for print. So if you're watching this live, go buy multiple copies, and especially the print book. I love giving the gift
Mhm.
of hope and health to people. I bought multiple copies of this book so that I can give it out to people for Christmas, right? For birthdays coming up. You can actually order it online and have it shipped to somebody from your account. I just bought a book for my daughter for her birthday because it's so perfect for her. And I love giving books as gifts. So buy multiple copies, send it to them. Don't forget to leave a review for Kathryn. She worked very hard for this. And
Mhm.
then, Kathryn, you have a special gift for people who do want to take advantage of this book launch and give you
Yeah.
support. What's that? Tell us about the special gift you have.
Absolutely. And you hit on something I want to mention first is you mentioned hope.
Mhm.
So many of us are feeling hopeless, helpless. We feel like a victim. Like, why isn't my body doing what it's supposed to be doing? And so that's why, I've written this book because it's my journey. It's what I've gone through, what I've helped people with, and I want to help you. So if you purchase my book, as a thank you to you, I am offering a no charge consult with me. We can go over what's going on with you and begin walking down this road of the path forward, right, towards health and wellness and getting to that root cause. And I want to give you hope that there are answers that your body can heal. It's not broken. It's able. Like God created our bodies so that they could heal themselves. And I help you to uncover the things that are keeping your body aback from doing all the things, all the systems and full bore, right? So that it can heal itself, so it can repair, so it can feel amazing, because that is the way that God created your body. Aging does not have to mean pain. It doesn't have to mean slowing down. If you have the right tools and you're feeding and fueling your body what it needs, then there's no reason you have to slow down.
Well, thank you so much, Kathryn. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you for being here.
Mhm.
Remember, if you want to learn how to write a book like Kathryn, you can always go to our website as well, mydefiningmoments.com. You can get
Mhm.
all the links below for the book, for the consult with Kathryn, all the information you need to be able to help get your genius out in the world because
Mhm.
it's so important to knowledge kept inside of you is not, it's kind of selfish. It's not helping anybody. So getting out of your comfort zone and getting this knowledge out to the world, you could literally save a life, a marriage, a business. So don't keep it inside. Let us help you extract that knowledge, get it out in the world. Congratulations, Kathryn. You're #1 best-selling author. So, so proud of you. And I can't wait to hear more about your success. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. Kathryn, I'm going to give you the last word. Anything else you want to add?
Oh gosh, thank you so much, Melanie. It's just been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for being such a shining example of what it means to promote people and and prioritize your health. You're doing it all. I
Oh,
applaud you.
thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, everybody, take care. We love you. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.